Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Speak On It. It's your boy Bev, Tim One, and Dom, and we got a jam-packed show for you guys tonight. And um, after what just happened, we're gonna get right into it. So last week we ended with a little bit of a preview of what we were gonna get into this week. Canelo took a big L last week, so. Tamon, you want to go first? You got something you want to get off your chest,
No,
Tamon?
Oh, I'm
Or
gonna say this real quick. I'm gonna say this.
no, ain't no real quick. Dom has
He
the
has
floor.
been waiting 8 years for this
Nah,
moment. He's
nah,
been
ain't no
waiting
eight.
like 8 years for this
It's
moment.
not eight. It's not eight. But go ahead.
No, that's all I gotta say. You've been
That's all.
waiting 8 years for
Okay.
this moment.
Okay. So I'm not a Canelo hater. Just FYI. Um, I just felt like the level of competition that he's fought in the past few years has. I mean, from Gennady and that trilogy, that was a good one. Some say that he lost the first one. But this was the clearest cut that I've seen since Iris Landy Lara. But see, I mean, hey, everybody's got their opinion. But I mean, I really felt like Iris Landy Lara won that fight. But needless to say, I don't think he's going back up to 75 uh, anytime soon. Um, and I don't know if I don't know what's next for Canelo, man. He's got some
Dimitri.
tough pickings.
He gotta fight Dimitri. Well, listen, I'll let you say things. Then I got, but he gotta
No,
fight
no, no,
Dimitri.
no.
He
He
gotta
got to
fight
fight
him
who?
again. He gotta fight who he just lost to. He gotta fight him again.
Why? For what? Is that a check?
That's because that's who he lost to. That
But that
is,
means Dimitri has to come down to 168 because Canelo said he's not going up to 175 anymore.
yeah. I mean, listen. Canelo been jumping weight classes for for the past couple of years, so I get it. Um but yeah, stay at, like you said, stay at 168 and let him come down. That's what I would say, because again, at the end of the day, it's a purse, right? So Canelo is still the draw.
Yeah.
With the loss or not, he's still the draw. So I would say, now Dimitri will probably command a little bit more of that purse now.
Hmm.
But I would say, listen, let's fight. Let's do it. Let's do it again. Come down 168 because I came up to you. I came up to you. Yeah, the last fight. Come down here to 168. And then we'll give you a little bit more of the purse. But I honestly, if I'm Dimitri, I would not come down to 168 to fight Canelo.
Yeah.
Um, but uh, if I put it out there, if I'm Canelo's team, I would put it out there. I would say, and I would put the ball in Dimitri's court. I will make Dimitri say no. And then, but that's what I think is he can't move. He can't move on to another fighter. Yeah, but without actually proposing that, like, that's, you got to propose that.
I
If you
don't
do-
like. I agree with you when you say that Dimitri. I don't think it's smart for him to go down to 168. I mean, he's been fighting the light heavyweight for I think his whole career. So what's the point besides the check? You've already proven your point, and it doesn't make sense for me, who just won, to now have to be terms dictated towards me as far as rematching you again.
No,
Like
so
nobody asked you to jump up to light heavyweight. You know what I mean? Like you could have stayed at 168 and fought David Benavidez, which that'd have been that's mm,
listen, they didn't. Nobody asked Canelo to jump up to 168, right? The 175. However, he did, and because he did, it's still like it's still, to me, it's still an asterisk. Not to me, like, not to me, but there will
why
be
is
an
it an asterisk?
asterisk next to his name, because again, what has Canelo been fighting? What's Canelo's fought 168? He jumped up to go get titles, right? Because he feels though there was nobody in that class that can contend with him. So he's been jumping all around. For
But
me,
he's jumped up there before.
yeah, so I'm saying he has jumped up there before. He has won there before. But naturally, where Canelo's walking around, what Canelo fights at, he fights at the 168. That's where he fights. So if he jumped up, I mean, Dimitri, was a little bit too much for. I'm not gonna say it was a little bit too much for my man to handle, but if he can really, if he can really beat him, right? This is just me. If I'm a promoter, I say if you can really beat him, go down. Prove that you can beat him. Go down to 168. Fight him in his weight class. He took you to the end to a decision in your weight class. Now let's see if you can beat him in his weight class.
Canelo got offered $45 million to fight not the Charlo that's at 160. and 55 million Charlo and 55 million to fight David Benavidez or Earl Spence at a catchweight. And he said no, I'm gonna go for Dimitri. And now here we are. I think Canelo has cornered himself. Like, you fought all the, in my opinion, the B-level talent in your weight class. And there's always that suspicion that you're avoiding slick boxers that are African American. Because last time that happened, you got schooled. And you said, I'm going to stay away from that. I mean, did Floyd not school him? But needless to say, at the zone, who has he really fought besides Danny Jacobs?
So hold on real quick, because I want to get back to. I want to touch on that point, Biff. And Biff, you can jump on and talk about it.
Yeah, please.
Y'all two got it, man. Y'all two got it.
But listen, you talking about Floyd. Floyd caught him at the right time, because if you're talking about avoiding, and I don't want to jump into a Floyd conversation, but who Floyd fought his prime? That's what boxers do.
So wait, you said who did Floyd fight in his prime? What was his prime? Who
has Floyd fought in their prime?
In their prime. Zab Judah.
Was Zab really in his prime?
Chop Corley. Diego Corrales. Arturo Gotti. Ricky Hatton.
Hold on.
You want to keep going?
I'm gonna pull up the joints, because you're talking about Arturo Gotti, who really wasn't in his prime. He was getting knocked around.
Bro, are you serious?
What's Arturo Gotti get?
I'm just saying, okay, we're not getting into the Floyd conversation.
Right.
We're talking about Canelo Alvarez.
Because
the only loss that he has on his record
was the Floyd. When Floyd called him at a young age. Floyd called him at the right time.
And if you've watched his fights, he has debatables. There's no question about that. Casual fan or boxing advocate, there are debatables.
So Floyd got debatable too.
What debatable does he have?
I feel like a lot of people got debatable. Listen, I still
just give me one. Just give me one Floyd debatable.
Who the boy was it? Ortiz?
Or are you talking about Maidana?
Huh?
Maidana?
No, I'm talking about Ortiz when he
knocked Ortiz out.
He knocked Ortiz out, but when Ortiz didn't have his hands up.
Either way, it was a knockout.
No, it wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault. But listen, you gotta keep your hands up at all times. He knocked him out. He knocked him out when he didn't have his hands up. That's that. Listen, you gotta keep your hands up. But during that fight, my man was leaning on him. He was putting him in the corner. Like,
it only went 5 rounds, so we can't say that.
It went 5 rounds.
Okay,
my man
back to Saul Canelo Alvarez. Back to him.
We can talk about
Floyd is fighting exhibition.
Because listen, the Charlo got a loss on his belt too.
No. I'm not talking about that one. Not the one at 154. I'm talking about the one at 160. He's undefeated. The one at 154, he lost to Tony Harrison.
Listen, I know you want my man. I know you. Listen, like I said, this been 9 years in the making since the Floyd fight.
It has not been 9 years in the making.
Since the Floyd fight, been like 9 years in the making with my man.
Okay, so where does he go from here? That's the question.
I told you he got the fight.
He got to fight old boy again.
He got to fight him. He got to fight him again.
Okay.
I don't think he can beat him in his weight class. I think if he drops down, he loses power. I don't think he can. I don't think he can lose. I don't think he can beat him in his weight. He can. I don't think he can beat Canelo at 168.
Well, that remains to be seen.
I agree.
Otherwise, what happened last Saturday? It is.
But all he got to do is weigh in at 168. He can still walk into the ring at 175 on fight night.
That's true.
I don't think much changes. I don't think much changes. I
don't think it's smart for him to fight him again. Not right now.
I don't think much changes. No, I don't think Canelo fights him again. I think it'd be a smart business move because people are buy it. Yeah, but I also, and again, this is just me. I'm not a big Canelo fan. But just seeing his previous fights and watching that one, he did not look completely engaged. He did not look like he wanted to be there.
He didn't look like
that was just me looking from the outside in on what I saw. So
Canelo didn't look like Canelo looked like I'm the biggest name I'm the biggest draw in boxing. I'm going to get this bag regardless. Like, and I know they knocked him down pound for pound, but if Canelo go knock out somebody in his next 3-4 fights, he gonna climb that ladder again. Like,
hey, one thing has changed though. He's not the king of pay-per-view. Earl Spence's pay-per-view sold more than his. Just putting that out there.
That's his other man too. But I like Earl Spence too.
I ain't gonna hold you, but it is what it is.
No, listen, I get it. I get it. Listen, until Canelo lost, he was the best in boxing right now. He lost
allegedly.
Listen, regardless of what you say, regardless of how you listen, Floyd was 50-0. He was a defensive fighter. Most people say he's the greatest because he's 50-0. So we can say allegedly there too.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say he's the greatest because he's 50-0.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, sports is objective anyway.
But of this era, I get it. But Canelo, in my opinion, he's put himself in a corner to where like he's gonna have to beat Dimitri in order to get this ball back rolling. Because otherwise, if you do a rematch and lose again, where does that put you? That's 2 back-to-back losses. And now you have no more belts since he beat you at 168. So you're gonna have to rematch him again. That means you don't get to fight these other guys unless Dimitri say, you know what, I'm going to go fight somebody else at 168. But he's been at 175 anyway, so he might drop the belts off. Like, it's a lot that could happen if they rematch at 168, in my opinion. I think Canelo's best bet is to fight another maybe tune-up fight. And then, I'm not going to say tune-up, but he's going to have to defend in 168 against 168ers and prove that he's the best at 168 and not fighting a light heavyweight that's coming down to 168.
But hasn't he proved that he was the best at 168?
You still have undefeated people that you haven't fought at 168. Yeah, you beat
champions. He undefeated also at 168.
But are you going to defend your belts? You're going to defend your titles. You got the number one contender, David Benavidez, and you said, no, I'm going to go fight the light heavyweight champion. Okay, you still got your belts. Let's fight this man.
But I know, and I get that. But wasn't Dimitri undefeated as well? So it wasn't like he was ducking smoke.
No. I'm saying, but Dimitri was already ahead of, like, his game plan was probably Arthur Beterbiev, because they're supposed to have some type of unification fight with him, and then he was going to get the winner of that. Like I'm saying, Canelo picked him. He's like, okay, it is what it is. But at 168, you still have Demetrius Andre that deserves a title shot. That's undefeated. You have, like I said, David Benavidez at 168. That's undefeated. You have these undefeated prospects that are wanting a chance to fight for these championship belts, and you out here chasing other championship belts.
And I get it, but that's what they've been doing for the past like 4 years. But this is why I will say, and I think, and then I guess we can move on. But this is why I will say why I think he has to fight Dimitri, because if he does fight the bull in the 168, right, and he loses at 168, like then how do you go back to Dimitri and have Dimitri come down to your weight class? You know what I mean? Like, how do you have if you lose another fight and then you have Dimitri come down to your weight class? Like, if I'm Dimitri, I'm like, nah, bro, for what?
But
like
he'll have all the belts then.
Who?
Dimitri. He'll have all the belts at 168.
If he wins at 168, if he beats Canelo at 168, yes, he'll have all the belts, which means Dimitri then would fight the other boy that's in 160. I can't think of his name right, but the other undefeated boy that's in 168. Then Dimitri will fight him at 168, or the belt will be vacant, and they'll just be fighting for that belt.
I think this might be Canelo's last run.
You've been hoping for that for a long time. He only 30.
I told you what Taman already told you what he get ready to do. We had that conversation already.
What you mean?
He get ready to cash in on that Jake Paul trade, man. He get ready to cash in on that Jake Paul trade, man. That's a mega fight.
I don't have no hate for Canelo. I'm just saying that I've always felt like he's a great fighter, but he's not as great as people have made him out to be. And he has maneuvered his career to where he's been able to fight some very good world champions, but there's also some people that I felt like.
Now, Taman, I have to say this, man. As a Floyd fan, you sound like the same people that's criticized Floyd.
What you mean?
Just keeping it 100, man. That's the same. That's the same narrative that people are coming at Floyd. We've never questioned his greatness.
This is the thing. The thing about Floyd is that the Manny Pacquiao not happening in 2010, I think really, really screwed everything up, because that was like the prime of the prime for both of them, and that came years too late. Otherwise, he fought world champions. He did pick, but
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying that is the same thing that people are saying about him that you were saying about Canelo. That's all I'm saying.
And I'm not knocking him. I'm not knocking. That's what I'm saying. I don't hate Canelo, and I don't.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying
me as a avid boxing watcher fan, I would much rather see him. I would have loved to have seen Floyd fight Amir Khan. I would have loved to see him fight Prince Nassim in his prime. I would have loved to see him fight Sugar Shane in his prime. But they weren't even in really like the same weight class. I would have liked them to see Miguel Cotto and him fight years. I'm not saying that as far as your career wise, you're a businessman. I totally get it 100%. I'm just saying that Floyd's 50-0. It is what it is, but it can be he picked the right people at the right time. But on his resume, it's 32 world champions. Canelo has avoided some people. I think that's a difference.
We can say the same thing about Floyd, though. Listen, I'm looking at your boy right now. Again,
but he ended up fighting them.
He ended up fighting them when?
Past their prime. That's what we're talking about.
I'm saying
he fought Miguel Cotto
in their career. Like
he
later
fought Manny Pacquiao.
He fought Manny Pacquiao.
Canelo. He fought them. He fought them. That's the only difference.
So we're having a conversation. So if Canelo because Canelo fought Triple G, he fought him.
He did, right? And I give him that. He fought Triple G twice?
Who was an assassin. He was an assassin when Canelo fought him. So,
okay, and who else?
Give him time, right?
No. This man got like 60 fights. Who else has he fought?
Hold up, fellas. I have to interject real quick.
Yeah, because we about to go back.
No, I don't. Y'all can get back into that. I can care less about that. But the Mavs are winning 62-27 right now.
Bro, listen. I picked them to beat them. I picked them
in Phoenix. 62-27 in the third quarter.
I told you, y'all know I wasn't big on Phoenix. I told y'all I thought they should have lost to. New Orleans.
27 in the third quarter, bro, is a bad
at home.
That's a. What
At
they shoot like
home.
20%?
I don't know. I didn't get into that
Listen,
deep.
basketball is about the best players. Luka the Don,
Man,
the
that's a
best player
bad
on that
shooting
court.
night, bro. 27 in the third as an NBA team. That's a
They're the number
really
one
bad
defense in the
night.
NBA.
That's who is Dallas?
Dallas.
That's
Number
a
one defense in the
combination.
NBA.
That's got to be a combination. Even without even
They're
looking, I can
shooting.
tell that's the
They
combination.
are shooting 10 for 42 from the field.
Okay, that sounds about right.
10 for 42
That sounds about
from the
right.
field. And let me just say this: Devin Booker and Chris Paul have not made a field goal.
That sounds about right. You're gonna get 27 points when you in the third quarter.
Listen, Dallas gonna run into an animal next round. But anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of the NBA playoffs, man. We were in the chat earlier. That leprechaun something else, man. That leprechaun something else, boy. Like it's
leprechaun.
You don't want to go back to Boston for a game 7, man. You don't want to do that to yourself. Because all of a sudden Grant Williams, who I think he made like maybe 4 threes the entire playoffs coming into the game, went nuts. Like
bananas. Like
it was just watching that game, they weren't meant to win. That's how you take that.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't not. It's not tonight's not our night, guys.
Yeah.
Tonight, it's not gonna happen tonight. Unfortunately, it just happened to be the last night of the season. But Miami and Boston.
Boston in 6.
Boston in 6. I just think, again, we talk about basketball, it's about matchups, right? Going back to the last series, Milwaukee, it was the wrong time to have Chris Middleton out. Like, it was just the wrong time because Boston can switch everything. Giannis can go off like he has, but for the most part, they kept everybody else in check. You know what I mean? And when you can do that, like you can have the best player on the court and just let him go berserk, but I'm not gonna let everybody else score. I'm not gonna let everybody else go off. You know what I mean? You need, like, Milwaukee needed somebody else that can get their own. And I feel like Drew Holiday wasn't that guy. Drew Holiday is suited to me as a third option and not a closer. Giannis to me is not a closer. And even if he is a closer, like when you got like all eyes on you, like it's tough to beat 5 people. You know what I mean? So I thought that was a bad matchup. I also think the Miami, I thought the Sixers was a bad matchup for Miami, which we was if we was totally healthy. Boston, a terrible matchup for Miami. It's just a terrible matchup for them. They're gonna switch everything with Jimmy. They're gonna be able to keep them shooters in check. In Miami, like Miami, that zone defense that Miami gonna try to throw at Boston. I think it's gonna be. I do want to say Boston in 5 out of respect, but I think this series. I do. I think this series. I think this series can get ugly because like Boston got so many bodies they can throw at Jimmy Butler. They got so many bodies that they can throw at Tyler Hero. And we saw Giannis is a different animal. If we're being real with ourselves, Boston could have beat Milwaukee in 5. Like,
but yeah, we were in 7.
They could have. I'm saying they could have beat them in 5.
And I can easily say Milwaukee could have won in 6. So
I can agree with that too. But what I'm saying is this, right? In Game 4, I think Milwaukee went on was it Game 4 or Game 5? One of the two. Milwaukee went on a crazy run. I think it was Game 4. Milwaukee went on a crazy one. Boston.
It was Game 5 when they came back and won in Boston.
Game 5 when they won by 3. In the game before that, Boston was up by 14 in the 4th. And Milwaukee came and so like Boston. I hate Boston. I'm a Sixers fan and I hate Boston. So all this Boston love it sounds crazy coming out of my mouth, but I am a Duke fan, so I'm rooting for my man Jason Tatum to go off. But I just think that Miami, it's going to take a lot for Miami to beat them, man. It's going to take like heroic Jimmy to beat them, and I just don't. I don't know if Wisdom has enough bodies, and if Robert Williams is healthy, yeah.
You know what I found funny is after that game in Philadelphia, when Jimmy Butler went to the back, he said they chose Tobias over me.
Yeah. Hurt. Listen,
He had a chip on his shoulder with
Yeah.
that front office
Yes.
because he felt the way, and I don't blame him. I just think that the Heat have been a very good regular season team, and one of the things that we know in the playoffs is that you need to be good, but you also need to have a little bit of luck too. And Joel being out those first 2 games really set the tone. We can't deny what happened in Philly, but those first 2 games I think would have made a difference if you had Embiid in there, which may have made a difference in the series.
I think if Joel Embiid's there, game 1, Philly wins game 1 because game 1 was so close without him. And I think if he's there game 1, you win game 1. Healthy. I think Joel, he's a terrible matchup for Boston. Yeah, I mean not for Boston, for Boston too, but it's a terrible matchup for Miami. So I agree with you that if he was there, if he just showed up and just played, even if he wasn't healthy, I think that I'm not gonna say that I do think we win the series, but yeah.
You got something on their hands though, Boston.
Yeah.
And Miami has home court. That's the.
And both of y'all picked Boston, right?
Yeah, bro.
I'm gonna go Miami then.
I don't want to say Boston.
He said then. So that means you just doing it just cause.
Yeah, man.
I say because you got listen. There's no logical reason for you to pick Miami. No logical.
I don't think. No. I think coaching plays a factor because I think Milwaukee lost because Mike Budenholzer can't coach. It's just that simple. To me, dude, there's no reason that Brook Lopez should be playing against Boston. There's no logical reasoning to have Brook Lopez on the floor.
He's a former All-Star.
There's no reasoning. If Rudy Gobert can be a defensive liability as a defensive player of the year, and we can say that he shouldn't be on the floor, then we can say that about Brook Lopez. He gives you absolutely nothing.
He didn't give you anything serious.
Against this team, he can't give you anything. Al Horford, Grant Williams, whomever it is, they're going to pull him out on the perimeter. There was a time today he was guarding the point guard.
He's a fan.
He was guarding the point guard, and he couldn't close out to him. At least Ibaka can close out the shooters. He can challenge shots. He can be viable if you have to switch in the pick and rolls. That's all I'm saying. Little things like that make a difference in a series. Little things like that. It was just little things, man. Like they just kept beating their head against the wall. Let's just go Giannis, go one-on-one. Giannis, go one-on-one. And then finally, that's what it was. Finally, he started making adjustments where he was getting Drew Holiday and Giannis in the high pick and roll. It took him 6 games to make that adjustment, bro. 6 games. Come on, man. Little things like that, and they were still in this series without their second best player and their all-star. And I believe little adjustments that he could have made. Giannis was great enough. I thought Drew Holiday was great enough. I thought Bobby Portis was good enough in that series. You had a little bit of Grayson Allen, Pat Connaughton. I thought those cohesive guys played well enough. I thought the coach let them down on the sideline in that series, and then the other coach down the other end coached his ass off. It's just that
I
simple.
agree. I think Ime Udoka, the coach is behind all. I do want to say this though. I do want to say this. When Boston shows up to Miami, who has the best player on the field, on the court?
They had the best, in my opinion. No disrespect to Jimmy, they probably had the 2 best players.
The best 2 players on the court.
Yeah.
They got the best two players on the court when he shows up.
Man, yo, I love Jimmy, but Jaylen Brown different, man.
Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. Listen,
Jaylen Brown different, and I love Jimmy. I love.
He remind me of a young, like more efficient Jimmy. Like
Jaylen Brown different, man.
So I do think
I just think Eric Spoelstra will make this series longer than it probably. I don't disagree 5-6, but I think Eric Spoelstra can push this series to 7.
I can see that. I can see that. I just don't know because Milwaukee swept Boston last year. Well, Milwaukee swept Miami last year, and is Miami that much of a better team this year? I mean, I know they got PJ, I know they got Vic, but I just think Boston different right now. Boston is playing at a different level, and for me, because they switch everything, I don't know if Miami has the guys that can take advantage of those switches. I don't know if they do.
Boston in 6. That's all I'm.
I don't think. Here's to me that's going to separate it. PJ Tucker, he's a dog, but he's not a go get a bucket dog. You know what I mean? Like Tyler Hero, he's not a dog. You're gonna need dogs to go in the Boston Garden and win.
You are.
Yeah.
You're gonna need dogs to go in there and win. Milwaukee just found that out.
Jimmy get dogs.
That's a different atmosphere, and it's Jimmy gonna be by himself.
That's what it's gonna be.
It's gonna be Jimmy by himself. PJ gonna be right there fighting with him, but he can only do but so much.
Yeah, he needs somebody to create for him.
You know what I mean? They're gonna need somebody else. This is where if Vic can have a flashback to 18, it better show up.
Yeah,
it better show up in this series.
Yeah, Vic got to be Vince's Vic, and Tyler Hero Tyler Hero to me is the key. He got to go berserk. Tyler Hero got to go berserk,
and he's taking steps, but I don't know if he's there yet. I don't know if he's there for that.
I don't think he's there yet, but in order for Miami to have a
absolutely,
he got to go crazy.
Yeah, he's got to be that. He's got to be that third guy. Well, it looks like the other series, the other conference final is going to be Dallas and Golden State, unless Phoenix can overcome almost a 40-point deficit here.
So we talking about this. I told y'all. I said, yo, I just don't know. Again, I know how great CP3 is as far as like he's a point guard. I know nothing, no disrespect, nothing taking nothing away from CP3, but he has to. To me, CP3 is no longer a superstar in my opinion. He's no longer.
He hasn't been there. I wouldn't say. I'm gonna keep it 100. I wouldn't say he hasn't been a superstar to me. A superstar since the Clipper days.
I would say borderline Houston, but
superstar
Houston.
I would say all-star. He was definitely an all-star in Houston, but I wouldn't say superstar because I still felt like that was James Harden the bus.
Okay, I agree. It was James Harden.
I still feel like it was James Harden team. I still feel like he was on his decline after the Clippers.
He kept getting injured.
When he did what he did with OKC, that was
again. You can have moments. That don't mean you're a superstar.
I didn't think he was a superstar with OKC either. I think CP3 is a great leader. He's the greatest leader. One of the greatest leaders.
He's going to be a coach on the sideline.
Right. So he's going to get the most and maximize the most out of the players that are around him, which is why I also
if they can take it.
Huh? Yeah, if they can take it.
Take it.
Which is why I also question, and I know people who watch it probably going to come at me, but I also question Devin Booker's superstardom because CP3 gets the most out of Devin Booker, but we've seen the years before where it was Devin Booker's team, and he wasn't putting them in the position to be successful. He wasn't putting them, and I do want to see how they are, which is probably going to be a while. But I do think Chris Paul is going to decline, so I do think Devin Booker will actually have to lead them next year. And I want to see if he can.
I think Devin Booker is the leader. It's just that Chris Paul is the vocal leader. And
I think Devin Booker is the best player. I don't think he's the leader.
I mean, as you can see, as Devin Booker goes, the team goes. Devin Booker ain't made a field goal, and they're down by 40.
Well, he wasn't going to make up a 40-point deficit, so.
I mean, like, so I watched JJ Redick's podcast, and he had Chris Paul on there not too long ago. And you know, they used to play on the Clippers, so they had a little history and whatnot. And one of the things that Chris Paul said was, when a team drafts you, they have like that loyalty to you, right? So with that being said, I really think that's Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton's team. And they brought Chris Paul in to be an added piece, and he's a great veteran and a great motivator and IQ out this world when it comes to basketball. But that's Devin Booker's team and DeAndre Ayton's team. They picked DeAndre Ayton number 1.
I agree.
So
they still ain't pay that man.
These are the two. Yeah,
I think you speak with your actions.
That's true. That's true.
So I think you speak with your actions, and I think they want it to be
Devin Booker's team.
I think they want it to be Devin Booker's team. I think it is Devin Booker's team. However, that doesn't mean he's the leader of the team, and it doesn't mean that he can carry the team. I have yet to see it. Not saying that he can't, but I have yet to see it. I think what he did in the bubble, like people saw that, and they say, well, he's about to turn the corner. But if we have seen and we have heard, nobody wanted to be in the bubble.
Except for LA.
Yeah, the
Except
bubble,
for LA and Miami.
Let's just be real. That the bubble is starting to sound more and more suspect. Let's just keep it 100.
Don't do that, Dwayne.
And I'm just keeping it 100, man. Like everything that came out of there was fool's gold, except for the Lakers championship, is what I'm hearing. Devin, you know what I mean?
If
like
everything is fool's gold, then I mean that's not fool's gold either.
What?
No, it is. But
the Lakers, I'm agreeing that it's fool's gold.
Okay.
I'm agreeing that it's fool's gold. Let's think about it. Where TJ Warren at?
Mm-hmm. He ain't been
bubble. He was a bubble god. Like he was out there looking Kobe Jordan-esque in the bubble. But anyway, the Suns. I don't know where they go from here. You know what I mean? Like Chris Paul. Chris Paul is eventually gonna move on. You know,
think so?
He did just resign. He did just resign early this year. However,
what you mean? What you mean? Eventually, he's got to go somewhere, right? He's got to either retire or something, and that's going to come sooner than later. We can pretend that it's not. It's going to come sooner than later. Do they have the guy on that team right now that can be the starting point guard for them going forward?
I think they do, but I don't think that he it's the level of Chris Paul, and I think Cameron Payne. I think Cameron Payne's solid. And
that was going to be my question. Do they need a guy at that level? Because you're saying that you don't think Devin Booker, or he's yet to show you that he can be that type of guy. So if that's the case, who could they potentially go and get? Because there's no reason to run it back.
They might go in there.
For me personally, there's no reason to run it back. You maxed out.
They're gonna run it back.
And that's the dumb thing. That's why GMs are stupid. Why run it back? You maxed out. It's not gonna. You're wishing and hoping for some sort of injury to happen to somebody else or some other teams so you can skate by. You've maxed out what you have.
I wouldn't say skate by. They got the number 1 seed.
Huh?
Oh my
Listen,
gosh,
we've seen.
bruh,
we've
at
seen-
their best, they couldn't win a championship.
and seeds don't mean nothing. We know
At
that.
their best,
Seeding-
they couldn't win a championship
I
twice in a
get it.
row now.
I get
And
it.
other teams are getting better. And your second best player and your leader is getting older. John
Getting older.
Morant's getting older and better.
Better.
Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole, they're getting older and better. Your second
I don't
best
know about
player,
Steph.
or you,
I'm
Huh?
messing.
I was going to say, okay, but anyway, he can still be the same.
I
It doesn't
just
matter.
wanted to see
The other
the-
guys are- but I'm just saying,
Listen.
why beat
know
your
who won
head?
championship.
Why beat your head against the wall, trying to make something happen that's has proven it's not going to happen?
Cam,
So then you
Mikal,
have to add some type of piece to the
but they
puzzle.
can't because they maxed out. I mean, they could find somebody maybe on the vets minimum, which they might. However, Cam, Markel, and to me, the person who is the most important person on that team is the Bohemian. I ain't gonna say the Bohemian Nightmare because he ain't been the Bohemian Nightmare in the NBA, but it's
Biombo.
no, what's the center? I can't even think of the center name.
Who, Ayton?
Yeah, DeAndre Ayton.
Oh,
He has to go to another level. If he's saying he a max player, and if he want to get paid like Trey, and he want to get paid like Luka, then you need to do Trey and Luka-ish things. And if he can do Trey and Luka-ish things, then I can see them. I'm gonna just say that I can see.
And that's what I was getting ready to say. I like the roster that they have. I do like the roster that they have. I do think there's guys that need to take a leap, and there's also other guys that they probably just need to get rid of. But I don't see this team as it is right now running it back next year and doing any better than what they did this year.
And they're fully healthy. Like, let's be real. Like,
Yeah.
And we can talk about the hamstring, and maybe the hamstring is not fully healthy for Devin Booker, but he's out there playing. That team, like, they're not missing any key piece right now. Nobody. They're getting shellacked when Tim Hardaway Jr. He gonna come back. He gonna come back to Dallas. He's coming back. James Wiseman, he's coming back to Golden State. And even if James Wiseman doesn't come back to Golden State, they're going to move James Wiseman for another piece that they can plug in that's going to extend their championship window. The Grizzlies, not going nowhere. We just saw what's his name take them to 6, and it took Chris Paul to be the point guard for real. Like, he had to be God for real to beat New Orleans. Like, my man, he missed not one shot. So I'm with Biv. They need to try to figure something out because those other teams are going to pass them. I think those other teams have already passed them. I just they need to figure it out. And Chris Paul, I do feel bad for CP3 because it's like last year was his chance, man. Like, that was his shot. And now, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
Yeah,
90-50 going into
Chris
the
Paul
fourth.
got to come to Philly if you want to get the championship. He got to come to Philly.
Okay, we can get into that now.
I don't think he's playing.
Since you
he's playing with James Harden again.
No.
Listen,
we can talk. I specifically didn't answer what you put in the thing, so we can talk about. I want to keep all this smoke, all this passion today.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say this, right? James Harden. We talking about James Harden. Didn't show up. He didn't shoot. I do believe James Harden's injured. I do believe it. I do believe he's injured. I think there was a lot of expectations for this team this year because they got James. But if we're being real, the only chance we had to actually compete was with Joel Embiid being healthy. Because we're not a better top to bottom. We're not a better team than Boston, Milwaukee, or Miami. Top to bottom, we aren't a better team than them.
Mm-hmm.
You need your super. The only reason that people say we might have a chance is because we have that man. We have that monster in the middle. And if he's not going, then like I don't care if James Harden turned back into Houston James Harden. If Joel Embiid wasn't there, we wasn't going to championship. So I think next year was ultimately always going to be next year for us. But it does give me pause for concern with James Harden looking the way he did, because he did look like he was slow. He did look like he was a little out of shape. But to me, I just think he's injured. I think he hasn't been the same because last year we talked about last year when he first got to Brooklyn and before that hamstring injury, he was third in the MVP race. He was balling in the playoffs. He got injured in the playoffs, and he just ain't been right since. So I think that next year with a full off season, James acclimated, I think that we may see. I'm not gonna say Houston James Harden, but we may see Houston-esque James Harden. And I will say this: we don't need him to. If Joel Embiid's healthy, we don't need James Harden to be the best player on the court. He's no longer that. Joel Embiid's the best player on the court. So we don't need James Harden to say, okay, I need you to go out and carry a team. I just need you, James Harden, to essentially, I'm not going to say be a role player, but I need you to essentially just go out there and, give me moments.
Be a point guard.
Yeah, be a point guard.
Just be a playmaker, dude. That's it. Here's my issue.
Yeah.
Here's my issue. He's still going to want max contract money.
And I think
I don't know if I'm giving max contract money to a role player.
I will say this: I don't think James Harden's a role player, but
He's a role player at this point. He's a role player.
He's not. He's a 22 and 10 guy.
22 and 10.
Yes,
that's a role player.
Hey, look, role player.
That's not a role player. That's
a role player.
That's an all-star, man.
It's not an all-star no more.
It's
not an all-star no more.
I think
it's not an all-star no more. That's a role player.
I think James Harden will be all-star. I think that's all-star. I think that
if he's an all-star, it's off his name.
No, 20. That's 22, 10. Listen, and if we're talking about being real, 22, 10, and 8. That's what he averaged last year. 22, 10, and 8. We are judging James Harden off of James Harden's greatness. That's what we're judging James Harden off of. We are.
What greatness? What greatness?
James Harden has given you one. He carried a team. We expect him to be 30-point James Harden. That's what we're judging him off of. Maybe not you, Ben. No. Maybe not you, but the majority of the people are judging him off of the James Harden that we expected James Harden to show up and be a 30-point 10 guy. That's what they expected.
I'll say that when you guys first did the trade, I said that y'all gave up too much when y'all gave up Seth Curry. I know it seemed like Seth Curry, but he was a shooter. You know what I mean? And that's one of the things that was it seemed like y'all team really didn't get better with the trade. It just stayed the same.
Well, let me ask you this question. Go ahead.
And with James Harden, like you do have, I'm not asking him to be Houston James, but at the same time, we traded you for a guy that wasn't even playing. And we gave away a guy that was being productive for us. So the least that you could do is be as productive as the guy that we let go that was producing for us.
But wasn't he though?
And,
he was 20. Listen, when he came, since he got to us, he's averaged 22, 11, and 8. So when we talking about, huh?
But when
in the regular season, even in the postseason.
I'm saying what games like now we're getting to the point to where when we're in the playoffs, James Harden, his reputation is he disappears.
He disappears. And I would say this series, he gave me 18.
Hold on.
What?
When Joel was out, you're the next man up. Either you or Tobias. And I see you only take 4 shots in the second half. Like what has happened? I'm not asking you to be Houston James.
We already know what that was about. I right now I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I could care less about this series or this whole playoff run. Honestly,
the Sixers.
Yes, I could care less about just because I think James wanted what he wanted. I don't think he wanted to play for Doc Rivers, and I believe that he did whatever he needed to do to make sure Doc Rivers is not going to be the coach
Oh
for
wow.
the Sixers.
Okay.
Which
It's
that's
deeper
just
than
my that's just my opinion.
understood.
That's just my opinion. He looked lackadaisical at times, like he wasn't even trying to play offensively. There was like 2 or 3 plays where he just didn't even attempt to box a guy out or challenge the guy on the putback. Come on. But anyway, for me, the thing with James Harden, the reason why I was like he's a role player now is because I believe in order for Philly to be successful, he needs to be a role player. Because I believe that they have better, more consistent offensive weapons that he can create for on that team. That's why I feel like if he should be a role player in Philly. If you're be a point guard in Philly, I believe that they have the guys around him. And again, I know people was talking about Shaq and Kobe, yada yada, whatever. That pick and roll option with them two, if you're gonna run it, pick and pop, whatever, with James and Joel, would be very potent.
Yeah.
And then you can put the shooters around him, which is why I didn't like Seth being involved in the trade. Put the shooters around them too. You can make a run. You can make a legit run.
I can agree with that. I think Seth had to be, and that's why I said I don't think it was this year, because the way the team was constructed, it just wasn't constructed for them to be. It wasn't constructed for them to be successful. Like now, you relegate Tobias to be a spot up jump shooter or like in the dunker spot. You didn't know like Matisse and Danny Green, they were on and off, like on who was going to play good. The bench didn't really give you much. Yeah, I mean, Matisse, Tyrese was a second year guy, and you saw the development with them, but the way the team was constructed, it just wasn't constructed. The legit reason why the Sixers would have made a run was on the back of Joel Embiid. That's why they would have made. That's why I said the way the other teams are constructed, they're constructed like a team. Like they're constructed to where if Giannis is having an off night, they still got them shooters out there. If Chris Middleton goes down, they're still a team. Joel goes down, he's the number one usage guy in the NBA. You run so much of your stuff through him. So when he goes down, that's like 40, 50%, 60% of your offense. So that's why I really didn't put much on James this year, because one, it's been 21 games or 22 games, whatever, however many games they play together. And the way that Philly more than anybody, in my opinion, is reliant solely on one player, which is why I want to get to this other point. I don't think he's a bad coach. I don't knock him.
I thought you was going somewhere else. Go ahead.
You can't be so reliant on one player. You just can't. You can't be that reliant on one player. I don't care how dominant they are. Listen, the Lakers wasn't that reliant on Shaq. You can't be that reliant on one player. Yeah. Well, listen. When it was time to take over, they had that guy that could take over. So I'm just saying, like, you can't be that reliant on one player. Like you saw at times where they would spend 10, 15 seconds just trying to get Joel Embiid the ball. Like, just 10 seconds trying to get him the ball. And that didn't matter if James was on the court or if Tobias was on the court or Matisse or Tyrese was on the court. Like, if that's your offense and they know that's your offense and they're taking you out of the offense, like, you got to change that up.
Okay. And now we can segue right into the next topic then.
Yep.
He should go right into that.
He should be.
So
I don't care.
You're a Sixer fan. But to me, it wouldn't even be a homer thing to think that Joel should have won MVP. But I thought Joel I know Joker statistically, the numbers that he put up, nobody's ever done that before. I understand that. But the other guy, he had his team within the striking distance of the number one seed in the Eastern Conference, which was the better conference this year. So I just felt like Joel was more impactful to his team's success than Joker was to his team's success.
I want to ask y'all this question. Just y'all being fanatics, right? Joker to me did not face any I know Jamal was out, but Jamal's been out since, like, you knew Jamal was gonna be out all year. Like, you knew that. You know what I mean? Michael Porter Jr., like, we knew he was gonna be out, like, since November, right? We just knew. So I just didn't think that Joker faced as much turmoil as Joel Embiid faced this year. Joel Embiid, the way he handled the Ben Simmons situation, even with the James Harden situation, and then when Joel Embiid himself missed like 20, he missed a couple games just from COVID. It wasn't really injury. Like, he had COVID, wiped him out for I think like 10 games. Then when he came back, he said it. I'm not myself. Like, I haven't gotten my win back. So just the roller coaster that Joel Embiid had to go through and still carry a team, I just feel like his impact was that of an MVP. That, and again, I'm not mad that Jokic won it, but eyeball test, man. Like, Joel Embiid was the MVP, and here's I'm gonna ask y'all this after I say this. The reasons that they named Jokic the MVP are some of the dumbest reasons I've ever heard in my life. Like, they put up the statistics as to why they voted for him. Well, they said, Jokic is a top 10 defensive player in the NBA based on statistics. I said, what?
Yeah, don't mean to cut you off. That is why advanced statistics to me are bogus. They're bogus. They're absolutely bogus. Just give me the straight numbers that we've been using since the dawn of the sport, and let's just go with that. Because all of this advanced stuff, it doesn't make sense to me. It makes no sense to me. QBR makes no sense to me. I'm gonna be honest with you. Player efficiency rating makes no sense to me, because I be seeing some people with some PER, and I'm like, there's no way his PER should be that. I'll watch it. Plus minus is simply, if you're on the court, did your team score more points, or did your team score more points? So, that's it. That's pretty straightforward. To me, that's not even advanced.
I won't put. Hold on, let me put my.
It's the formulas that's weird to me.
Let me. Hey, man. So, I like Joker. I really do. I like his game. But this specific year, I wouldn't have denied last year. Last year, I said he was MVP. But for him to get this one, I just think it was just he's the best player on his team, and he has some nice pieces around him. But to Dom's point and to Biv's point, nobody had to go through what Joel had to go through this year with the roster changes, with his own injuries, with his setbacks, with him having his second best player not be on the floor at all, and to have his team, like you said, in striking distance of being the number one seed late in the year with missing games at that, it just solidifies to me that this year's most valuable player to his team would be into the league is Joel Embiid. I get the statistics. I get the first 2,000, 10, 1,500, all of that. And I commend him for that. But, bro, it's almost reminiscent of when Steve Nash got his MVP.
I agree.
And not to knock Steve Nash at all, but it's like
Leave that to
we
me.
really gonna say that Kobe didn't. You know what I mean? Like,
I got a
so,
question for y'all real quick. I'm gonna throw a couple things out to y'all. Russ won his MVP because he got his triple double, right? 6 seed.
I give you that.
He averaged a triple double the following year.
Did he?
Yeah, he averaged it 4 years in a row. He averaged a triple double the following year. He wasn't even.
He wasn't even in the top 5, I don't believe.
He wasn't even in the top 5 in MVP voting.
What was the team's record though?
Huh? They was in the playoffs.
Okay.
They was in the playoffs.
Yeah, they were. Okay.
They was in the playoffs the next year. He wasn't even mentioned in the MVP the next year.
They seen what he was doing.
But what I'm saying is,
shots to get the rebounds.
What I'm saying is Jokic is doing the exact same things. He's doing the exact same things. He almost averaged triple double last year, put his team in contention. But Russ was doing the same thing with lesser talent, and he wasn't even mentioned the next year. I just think that the award, like my man said, the award has become like the award to me is it's becoming watered down in my opinion. The award's becoming watered down in my opinion because one, you got so many people that's voting on it who don't even really matter.
They don't even watch the games. They just look at stat sheets,
and they don't matter. Like we got writers voting on this award.
It should really be the players and the coaches,
right? So the players, because the players actually do vote. They just it's not an award. So I think last year the players voted Monty the coach of the year, but both from New York got it. So the players do vote, but it's like their vote. They have their like, it's no award, it's no media award or anything like that. It should be whatever the players vote on or whatever the coaches vote on, that's who the award should go to. All the players, almost every player that I've watched them and heard them, they said Joe's the MVP.
Because they're playing up against them.
They're going up against them.
And the coaches are preparing for them. So what coach, if you know who's coming to town and you know what the scouting report is going to be and who you have to defend in multiple different ways, it just makes sense to me. Like, yo, the ones that are in the trenches are the ones that need to be letting you guys know who's the best player in the league is, as that trophy is supposed to be solidified as. Yeah, it's named MVP, most valuable player. Yeah, we can get technical, but it's really supposed to be the best player in the league this year. And the best player in the league this year was Joel Embiid. And I don't think nobody else is going to.
Nobody would question that. And that's why I will say to y'all, LeBron said it the best, which is why I think from there it shouldn't. Every award or every vote, everything that they voted on, it shouldn't even matter. LeBron said, "Bro, they voted for me to be. They put me on first team all defensive that year, but they gave the defensive player of the year to Marc Gasol, who was a second team defender. So how is LeBron a first team defender, and then you gave the award to a second teamer? That's why I said it's the science behind the way they vote doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
There's no science. They just vote how they want to vote. Like this. Here's the issue. Here's the issue. Because I don't know how to determine finalists.
I agree with that too.
How do they determine finalists? Because John Morant had no business being a finalist for most improved player. Let's be honest with ourselves.
You're talking real good, man. You're talking real good.
He had no, let alone winning it. He had no business being a finalist for most improved player. So that's where I be getting into it. Like, how do you even become a finalist?
Is Bane the same player?
Huh?
Desmond Bane?
Yeah. He should get it over Ja.
I'm not knocking Ja. There were a few guys that I felt as though deserved it. Not saying that Ja had an incredible year, but he's Ja Morant.
Like, who didn't expect that?
Like this is what he's supposed. If he's not improving, they're in some trouble.
He's number two
overall pick.
Like he's not improving, they're in some trouble. This is what he's supposed to do.
He was a number 2 overall pick. He is supposed to be good. He's
supposed to be making
a
league
franchise.
Yeah, like we're rewarding people for doing what they're supposed to do now. But that's the issue with me. It'd be how they even determine who is up to even get these awards. Because I always feel like there's one or two guys that are in the running that I feel like that makes no sense to me. Even with MVP this year, there was guys whose name was coming up that I thought was laughable.
Go ahead, Biv. Go ahead, say it, Biv.
Like people kept saying LeBron James. That's laughable to me. He's getting ready to be watching the playoffs. Why are we even talking about him being MVP?
Why they put LeBron James?
Like, really? His team is getting ready to not make the play-in. That's 10 spots, not 8 anymore. 10. How can great season? He's having a phenomenal season. AD's out. I get all of that. All of those things should be factored in. If he gets up to the 7th seed, we can have a conversation. But they can't even get into the play-in. I'm sorry.
I can't have a conversation with him at 7 either.
You can talk. I might not listen, but you can talk all you want. I mean, but it's the same way. That's the same way it was in sports across the board. I remember Alex Rodriguez winning an MVP in baseball, and his team didn't make the playoffs. That's laughable. I've always said it about Mike Trout. How can you be an MVP and your team not making the playoffs?
Yeah,
but they say it's regular season award. So
I understand it, but you make the postseason because of the regular season.
I agree with that.
I'm just saying I get it. You can be great all you want individually. You can have, but your individual game and the results of it should have an impact on your team's results.
So this is what I was saying. But based off what you're saying, right? The award is called the most valuable player, right? The most valuable player award. So to piggyback off what Biv is saying, Joel Embiid, with him in the lineup, they thought even before James Harden got there, even before Ben Simmons not being there, they thought they had a chance to come out of the East with him being healthy, even if James Harden is not there, even without Ben Simmons being there. With Jokic playing all year without Jamal Murray, without Michael Porter Jr., they thought he had no shot to come out of the West.
And
no shot.
And most people laughed at me when I said that if they were healthy, Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray, that they were contenders. So I don't get it. What's the love? Like, is it that I'm assuming this is what they're supposed to be? This is what they're supposed. This is exactly who the Nuggets are supposed to be. He just had a great year, and I'm not saying he didn't deserve it. He deserved it. I just felt as though this wasn't the year that he earned it.
I agree with that.
I felt like Joel Embiid earned the most valuable. Joker deserved it by all means. The season that he had was more than deserving, but Joel Embiid earned it. He put the work in and earned it this year. That's just my opinion.
I agree. 100%.
And just real quick,
Steve Nash is to me.
Speaking of Steve Nash, right? I follow the Score on Facebook, and they did a bracket for the best NBA player without a ring.
Charles Barkley.
You want to know who won? You want to know who won the tournament?
It's not Charles.
Steve Nash.
All right, y'all.
I'm talking about Elgin. I'm talking about Malone. I'm talking about Barkley.
Charles.
I'm talking about CP3. I'm talking about T-Mac. I'm talking about Russ. I'm talking about all of them. James Harden, all of them. And Steve Nash with the bracket.
Shout out to
Listen.
Steve Nash,
If we
man.
being real, right? If we being real, listen. Those Steve Nash teams, those teams was loaded. Those teams was loaded. Like they had teams that could have competed with the Lakers, that have competed with the Spurs and stuff like that. Those teams were loaded.
They did compete with the Spurs. They lost.
I know. I'm just saying, like James Harden. I'm not gonna bring James Harden up, but because y'all know how I feel about the teams that he ran up against dynasties, right? He ran up against dynasties. But like even with Karl Malone's, like they just ran up against dynasties. Most of the time, when you put Steve Nash teams out there, those teams, bruh, were from top to bottom. They probably had the best team when you rolled them out there. They was consistently winning 60 games. Like from top to bottom, bruh, they had legit teams.
Hey, Jeff Hornacek was a bad boy.
I'm just saying, man. I can say the same thing about a person that he broke through once, but most people got him as a GOAT power forward. Just saying.
Who?
Dirk.
Stop disrespecting my man Dirk.
I can say the same. He broke through once, but the rest of the time, his teams was better than majority of the teams he was playing against. But he just broke through that one time.
Not most of the time. And that team that he carried.
When wasn't it? Hold on. He played with Steve Nash and Michael Finley for a little bit, like right?
Yeah, but they was younger, and then when they left, like who was there with him?
Jason Terry, Josh Howard.
Josh Howard, has he been to the All-Star? Like, listen, I get.
Whoa, is that? Hold on. We cannot do that. We're talking about. Hold on, Dom. We're talking about an era where there were a lot of people who they was getting snubbed every year because it was deep, man. Baron Davis is like a two-time All-Star, so we're not getting ready to sit here and act like Denny is trash now. Like,
no,
because he got a lot of All-Star appearances.
I'm not saying that they're trash. I'm not saying they're trash.
I was just messing with you about.
No, I got you.
I know you love Dirk. I was just messing with you about.
All I'm saying is those it wasn't like Dirk team.
His teams was a little. I was just messing with you because you're a Dirk.
But I think he had great teams, but I don't think his teams were loaded like.
Not like the Suns, definitely.
Like I said, like that Suns team, bro. If we going like
those Suns teams, like Shaq was an afterthought.
Like,
and I ain't saying that he was prime Shaq, but he was still Shaq.
Yeah.
And he was an afterthought on those teams.
And listen, we can go pre-Shaq like Amari. Like that start five was nasty.
Yeah.
They had Joe Johnson as a
Joe
sixth
Johnson.
man. Joe Johnson as a sixth man.
Leandro
Barbosa.
Yeah.
Boris Diaw. Like Steve Nash, you should have one. You should have had one, Steve Nash. You should have at least made it to one.
That's what I was gonna say. He should at least got to a finals.
Yeah.
Maybe the Robert Horry. Maybe Robert Horry stopped him though.
And it's crazy because
if that don't happen, they get there. I think they get there that year.
What, the Robbie Horry joint?
If Robert Horry don't throw Steve Nash or whomever it was into the first row, then half the Suns team get suspended. I think that's the year. I think they
had a great chance of that. I will say this, right? I will put Steve Nash Suns team in the same category I put the Sacramento teams in. Like the Sacramento teams was great. They were great teams. Those Sacramento teams wasn't great?
No. They were good. I'm just saying, like, I don't even know if I would put them in that category because the Kings were actually screwed out of the finals.
One finals.
No, I understand that. I understand what you're saying, but I feel what Dom's saying as far as like they were good enough to get there.
Yeah.
They just couldn't get over.
They just couldn't get there, and to have Steve Nash winning a bracket of the guys who didn't the best guy who didn't win a championship, where like he probably had the best team. Like Sacramento and Shaq and Kobe will tell you, the Sacramento teams were the best. They were the best teams out there. Like year in and year out, they were the best teams. The San Antonio, I'm not San Antonio, but the Phoenix Suns, they probably rolling out the best team year in and year out, and you just can't get it done.
I still say it's Charles Barkley.
know it's definitely not Charles Barkley.
You serious? Come on now, don't do that.
And I love Charles. Karl Malone ain't. I mean, it all depends.
Charles
You got
Barkley
Barkley over
was
Karl?
arguably the second best player in the Jordan era.
So you got Barkley over Charles. I mean, you got Barkley over Karl.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Listen, I got no argument with you on that. If you got Barkley over Karl,
He was 6'4" and averaged 20-something 10. When all the power forwards was 6'8" and over. Like,
no, I got you. Listen.
and he carried the Sixers as far as he could. And then when he got a decent team, he won an MVP and then lost to Jordan again.
Unfortunately. All right, fellas. What was it? Thursday? The schedules were released.
Yeah, Thursday. Yeah, Thursday schedule release.
Had a chance to look over your team.
Mm-hmm. I had a chance to look over my team. I'm excited.
I am too. I like our schedule. Man. Our schedule, in my opinion, is kind of weak.
we got the third or fourth, no, the fifth, the fourth toughest schedule.
And I think we got like maybe the fourth or fifth easiest, honestly.
Tamon, so we about to. I guess we're about to go game by game, right? And pick what's in it, right? I think Tamon,
you gotta go game by game.
Okay, so Tamon, you looked over the 49ers schedule. What do you think the record should be? What do you? Hold on. Give me an over under on the wins you expect. What's your over under for your Niners?
9.
9?
Yeah.
Hold on, brother. I'm not sure if 9 gonna get you in the playoffs, man.
I'm being real.
Now hold on. Is that with or without Debo?
That's with Debo.
9?
Let me go back and look. I don't know if I said 9.
We play the NFC West.
I was gonna say you are in the NFC West. What do you think?
Of course, you guys aren't gonna see 9. But listen, I said last year that we was gonna make the playoffs, and y'all laughed at me. And what happened? So
hold on, I didn't laugh at you, brother.
You might not have laughed.
I can say
you might have
disagreed. I laughed at y'all.
Hold on, I didn't laugh at you. I don't think I laughed at you. I didn't think I laughed at you.
Either way, there's been
the year before. I definitely laughed at you. The year before, I definitely laughed at you. I had mediocre expectations for you guys last year.
Either way, I'm not saying that y'all not. I look at it for real. Like, I'm not gonna be like, because that's my team. I'm gonna
I got you.
I really think that we can win 9 games, hopefully 10. It's just the fact of, I think that the division games is always up in the air depending on where we're at. We play good in our division. We play the AFC West, which we know is loaded this year. So
I'm just trying to say, I'm legit just trying
to.
I just looked at y'all schedule again, and I'm trying to find the 9 wins. That's what.
All right, bro. Okay. Jeez, now we gotta go game by game.
I was there too, though, but I was like 7. I was at like 7. It was like, where are the other 2 that he talking about?
All right.
I'm just messing with you.
I know.
Nah, it's a lot of toss-ups, bro. It's a lot of toss-ups, man. It's a lot of toss-ups.
No toss-ups for me. It's legit no toss-ups.
Man, but they own. Hold on. I gotta give them that, man. They own the Rams in the regular season. They own the Rams in the regular season, and that's why I say toss-up. That's why I say toss-up, because in the regular season they own the Rams for whatever reason. They own the Rams.
Okay, I'm seeing 9. And okay. So we play the Bears week 1. Why are we going game by game?
No, we ain't
got to go 9. We ain't got to go game by game.
We ain't got to go game by game. We ain't got to go by game. I know why Dom doesn't see 9 because
listen. One, we don't even know who your quarterback going to be. Let's we all expecting it to be Trey. We expecting it to be Trey Lance. We also don't. Huh?
I said it don't matter who's the quarterback.
It better.
Bruh, when y'all listen, when Jimmy plays,
Yeah, it don't
y'all like
matter.
70. Y'all like 70% winning. When Jimmy doesn't play, y'all 30% winning. So it does matter who's the
It
quarterback.
Listen to what I tell you. It does not matter. We're winning at least 9 games this year.
What? All right. Listen,
I see 8.
I see 6.
God. Wow.
And the
You
only
got-
reason I see
you got us
8.
losing to the Washington Commanders, probably.
No, I got y'all winning against the
You got
Washington
us losing to the
Commanders.
Dolphins.
Yes.
That's how you.
Yes, I seen
Yes.
Dom doing that. That's why I said.
All right, Joe. Yo, all right.
That's
So
why I said.
One,
That's
listen,
why I
see,
said.
man,
That's
here's
why I
the thing.
said. That's
I came
why I
on this.
said.
Hold on. I came on this show objective as possible. Like, yo,
me too.
I really think the Eagles is going to win the NFC East. Now I'm
I
picking
get
the
it.
Cowboys, man.
That's
Now I'm picking the Cowboys. You know what? No, I'm gonna pick the Commanders for all that. I'm gonna pick the
Bruh,
Commanders to
listen.
win the NFC East.
Listen. Mike,
I was about to
I
pump
forget
y'all up.
his
I was
name.
gonna gas
The
y'all
coach
up.
of the Dolphins, he's gonna run y'all offense.
6?
He got better skill players.
6.
Listen, he's gonna run y'all offense. He's got better skill players
We
than
just
y'all.
Hold up,
from
Dom.
the NFC
Dom.
Championship game to
Dom.
6.
But Dom, who's the 6? Who's the 6 dubs?
I'm
Who's
gonna
the
give you
6
my
dubs?
6 game.
Who's the 6
No,
dubs?
we're not going because y'all
I
gonna
got you.
make me
Listen.
even better,
I got y'all
man.
starting hot. I got y'all starting hot
No.
with 2-0.
Oh no. Okay.
He said he got to start hot.
No. Yo, let's talk about the Eagles and the Ravens, bro.
We gonna get there. We gonna
No,
get there.
we gonna
You
get
just
there
said Dom,
now.
they gonna start out hot and 2-0.
I got
You're
starting
not.
hot.
You're not
2-0.
pissing me off. You are not pissing me off tonight. No, and so we're gonna go 4-13.
No, I got y'all at 6. 6
Oh
and
no,
11.
4-9, 4-10.
Listen, the
No,
Rams,
4-11. He said we're gonna go 4-11 after the first. Yo, no, let's
Yes.
talk about the Eagles. We're talking
We
about the
gonna get
Eagles and the
there. We
Ravens.
gonna get
Hold
there.
on.
Let's talk about one of these birds.
Hold
Super
up.
Bowl
Hold up, man. We
preview.
gonna get there. We gonna get
We got
there.
we got to get past that.
Who's the other 4, Dom?
No.
Who's the other
All right,
4?
so
No,
listen, I
no.
got them
Why are
beating
you
them
doing
two.
this? Why are
I got
you
them
doing
beating
this?
Carolina. I got them beating Atlanta.
Yeah.
So they can get all their dubs before Halloween.
And I got them. And I got them beating. I got them beating
Yes.
Seattle and Washington.
So
Yo, he said they're gonna get all their dubs
he
before
said
Halloween.
one division win.
Yes.
All right, Joe. All right.
Oh,
All right,
listen.
Let's Let's go to the Eagles. He already named.
No,
them.
y'all
Let's
got
go
2
to the
division
Eagles.
wins. Y'all got 2. Y'all got Seattle twice. Y'all beat Seattle twice.
Let's okay.
Oh man.
So what do you see the Eagles over and under at? We get this fast.
I had the Eagles winning 12 games. What? You don't got us winning 12 games to mine.
Oh man. I just heard some food.
Listen.
I got it at 11.
He said the Eagles going to double the 49ers.
Bruh. Listen.
I see 11.
Listen. I know that's your squad.
I see 3.
I legit wanted you to say your
What you
9
said to why you see what?
I see 3.
I wanted you to say your 9.
we
So
doing
listen,
this?
I got you. I got a question. You ain't got to say your 9, but I'm gonna ask you these questions. You got them winning. You probably got them winning the 6.
Detroit Lions lost. Vikings lost. Commanders.
Listen.
Carson Wentz gonna come through. Lost. Jacksonville.
You're not gonna be the starting quarterback.
Whoever. Jacksonville lost. Arizona lost. No, I'm not. I'm going overboard.
Listen. So you got y'all splitting with Arizona.
No. We passed the 49ers now. We're on to the Eagles. We are
I just
on
wanted
to
to know
the
your
Eagles.
9. I just want to know your 9.
We are on to the Eagles. We don't even need to know my 9. My over and under is 9. Your over and under is a disrespectful 6. So let's move on to the Philadelphia Eagles. You got your over and under at 12, which is
12.
I feel like
11-12.
Wow.
Same range as Biz, like 11-12.
Wow. Wow.
Listen, if we going Jacksonville, Jacksonville, Commanders, Detroit.
So y'all sweep
got-
the AFC South. That's what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Hold up. Let me look at that again. AFC South. Depends on.
No.
Yeah.
I got tossed up with Tennessee.
No.
I mean, depending.
I think that's a home game in December. I take y'all to win that.
And y'all sweep your division.
No. We don't sweep our division.
Okay.
Why would I don't see any reason why not to say that.
But I don't. I think we do lose to one of the Dallas games.
And y'all
Okay.
go 3-1 against the NFC North.
Yes.
So who's the loss? Green Bay.
I do. I got to lose to Green Bay, but I will say this:
They'll lose
I
at
wouldn't be surprised.
Minnesota. They'll lose at Minnesota early at home. They'll beat
I can
Green
say
Bay.
we're gonna lose one of those games, either Minnesota or Green Bay. But Green Bay to me, bruh, who's Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball to?
Y'all mess around, loses against the Texans. You got me hot, dog.
You mad? Listen,
You should have just
Yo,
let
y'all got a
me
tough
just-
Tell them why you mad, son. Tell her why you mad.
yo, you can't. There's no way you can look at my schedule. Look, okay, I do. You ain't got to tell me your 9, but I do got to ask you this.
Okay.
The picks, the 9 wins was some of those toss ups, and you like, okay, I'm gonna lean towards my
I
team
would really have to look at it again. But
because
if I do the toss ups and do that might be at 11.
you were at 11 with the toss ups, bro.
I just said if. I took a glance at it and I'm like, yo, okay, we can win this game, we can lose this game, we win this game, we can win this game, we lose
You
this
can win a
game.
couple of these games.
And we play well in our division. So like I'm not like all the gas
I got
up about the Rams and the Cardinals, y'all can have that because like they beat everybody else when it comes in the division. Though it's tough games.
Okay,
And we
so
played
so,
it. So like
so if y'all
I'm not,
split, that's 8 wins. I got you. I get you.
and I feel like we can beat one of the AFC West teams, maybe 2 of them.
Listen,
They're
gotta
going to have
score-
to
you
lose
gotta
some
score.
games. They're going to have
you
to
got to
lose some
score
games.
against that division, bro. And you gotta score
Okay.
against that.
Okay.
Y'all can score.
Bruh, anything can happen on any given week. So
We agree. I agree with that. But
we could be underdogs against the Chargers and end up winning by a field goal on some fluke 17 to 16 to I'm just saying I see winnable games. I see games where it's like, okay, I can really see us
the
lose those
games you
games.
pick. I got you. I see the games that you
I don't see 12.
You beat you picked y'all to beat the Chargers, the Miami Dolphins.
Bro, we still on the 49ers. We are on the Eagles now. So at 12, you guys have you at 12. So that means y'all are winning the NFC East, and y'all are at worst the 2 seed.
Mm-mm. I think
No, I said at worst.
I think it's gonna be a lot. I think it's gonna be a lot of like I can see Tampa winning 13, 14. I can see Green Bay winning a lot of games. I can see the
Green Bay?
I can see the Saints. Like,
But see, the Saints and the Buccaneers, they can't win.
Yeah, I
They
know.
have to win the division. You know what I mean? So,
but listen, I get that. I get you. I hear that. The Saints, listen, the Saints was 8 and 9, 9-8 last year. No Jameis.
they just picked up Jarvis.
And they beat Tom. Listen, they own Tom. They own Tom in the regular season. I just think the East. I mean, the NFC is light. So there's going to be teams that win. I just think that the NFC is light.
And the Eagles are winning.
So to my, I mean, never mind. Looking at this schedule, never mind.
Ooh. All right. So Baltimore Ravens, what are we looking like?
I went conservative, honestly. I went double figures, man. 10.
Okay.
Especially with in our division. Pittsburgh, I don't care who they have. They're going to play us tough. And they're going to be toss-ups. I don't think the Bengals going nowhere. I think they're legit. I really believe that they're legit. And the Browns games, I'm going to be honest with you, it depends on if Deshaun is going to be available or not. So it's hard picking those games. That's 6 games.
Yeah.
That's 6 games, you know what I mean? And then you take we got the NFC South. So, you know, we got to go to Tampa. We go to Tampa, and then we go to New Orleans like the next week. We're not winning both of them. We're going to drop one of them, if not both. So, you know what I mean? We traditionally have not been we don't travel well anyway. That's just who we are as a Ravens organization. But we don't travel well. We usually protect home pretty well. But I'm gonna be conservative. I'm gonna go with 10. I could see us getting. Yes, we get back into the playoffs this year. Yes, we get back into the playoffs this year. I think Lamar is gonna be healthy. Our running backs will be healthy. Hopefully, our defensive backfield will be healthy. So I think we won 8 games last year with all of that turmoil, and that's why I'm being conservative with the 10. I looked at it and I really kind of like 13, but I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back and to reality, and I'm gonna be conservative. And I'll say 10, but I counted 13, bro.
Listen,
to be honest.
Listen, 12, 13.
I counted 13, but I'm gonna be conservative and I'm gonna say 10.
Listen.
And you said 6 from my notes.
You're not gonna let that go.
Hold on to my man. I'm gonna go back to y'all, man. Let me see.
You're not gonna let it go.
Just let you know this is being recorded.
And listen, we do it every year, and we know it's recorded. Shoot, I probably got my notepad on the picture last year. Listen to the Ravens. I got them winning both. I got them winning the Tampa game and New Orleans game because 2 things, right? One thing y'all got them corners that will match up with almost anybody. And then y'all got pass rushers. Like y'all brought back Calais Campbell. Y'all got Mike Pierce. So right there, you ain't running on them. You're not running up the middle. They're gonna give you pass rush up and off the edge. They got corners. They just got ball from Notre Dame, and they got Marcus Williams. They short of the offensive line. The only weakness, and I don't even know if you can call it a weakness, it is a weakness, is Greg Roman going to open up the offensive playbook? That's the only thing that we were waiting to see. But other than that, they're about as complete as y'all are about as complete as Buffalo. And the only reason I give Buffalo the edge is because they got a number one target out there. Offensive line, y'all got a better offensive line. They got a better defensive line. You got better corners. You got better.
I have no argument. I have no argument whatsoever. They've been there before. They've gotten to the point where they felt like they should be in the Super Bowl. We haven't.
I agree.
We haven't. You know what I mean? So that then you got guys coming back from injury. So I just was being a little conservative with the 10. Again, I looked at our schedule. The schedule to me isn't outside of our division. It's kind of a cakewalk. Listen, honestly.
This is why, and not to belabor and go back to San Fran. And again, listen, the only reason, I'll say this. Y'all can legit, because of how physical y'all are, y'all can legit win games. But it's a lot of unknowns on your team. And in today's NFL, you have to have somebody who can go out there and put up points. You're not just going to run your way to a championship. The reason y'all lost, if we've been real, the reason y'all lost.
I didn't say championship. I just said 9 games.
I know. I'm just saying the reason y'all lost because y'all can play a lot of good quarterbacks. Y'all play a lot of good quarterbacks. The reason y'all lost in the championship game, because they had a guy who can go score. The reason y'all
I'm
lost,
not even saying we make it to the championship game. I just said 9 games.
bruh.
I ain't even say we making the playoffs. I just said 9
I'm
games.
just telling you why I got you at. I'm just telling you why I got you at. I'm just trying to justify my 6, man. That's all. I'm just trying to justify my
Listen,
6.
your 6 is justified and disrespectful all at the same time. So let me ask you guys this: besides you guys teams, what are 2 games that you have circled that you would like to see?
Oh man.
Oh, but hold on. I had them written down. Hold on. Let me go
He
find.
said, hold on.
Let me go.
I'll give you one of mine. It's the last game of the season, but the Bills and the Bengals. I definitely want to see that. And
I give up.
just for kicks and giggles, I want to see Carson Wentz come back to Philly.
I like it. I like
what
to
happens.
see that.
That was down the line, but I'm telling you, Dom, man, that 6 really struck a nerve with me. To where, now, man, I'm gonna be.
Can I say this?
Lord, man,
I want to listen.
I'm trying to coexist with my wife doing regular. Now with that, man, I'm gonna be.
So I'm trying to coexist with my wife.
Yeah, because she's an Eagles fan.
I know.
So we don't have no problems. It's like every 3 to 4 years, because that's when our division, you know what I mean, play.
I'm gonna say this. I can.
And I know they'll be cheering for the Eagles.
I listen.
But just because of that comment right there.
I can see y'all at 9. I'll say that. I can see you 9.
Nah, don't change it up now. Nope.
No, I still got you at 6, but I can understand you're 9.
Keep us at 6.
Yeah. Listen.
You hear that, Shanahan? You hear that, Lynch?
Y'all can beat Miami. I'll say that.
Y'all
can beat Miami. Y'all can beat Arizona. Y'all can split with Arizona, and y'all can split with the Rams. That's your 9 wins. I just don't. It's too many unknowns for me on y'all team. That's why I say 6.
I'll give you the unknown part. That's 6.
That's a Monday night game too.
Which one?
When the Commanders go to Philly.
When Carson come back. So
interesting.
I got about 12 games, but I will say this:
12.
It's a lot of games.
No, it is.
I think they did a really good job with the schedule.
This season gonna be crazy, but Russ going back to
Seattle.
Seattle.
I think he's gonna beat the brakes off of them.
I want to see. What I want to see in that game. I want to see Russ throw for like 500. Because they
Cook, huh?
Yes, because what's been the reason he's there, he's going because they didn't want to let him cook. They want to try to keep him bottled in. I want to see Russ shred them. I like that game. I like the Chiefs Buffalo game.
Mm-hmm.
I like that game. Like
that was my second one until you said what you said. Then
I think the Rams go to Tampa at some point in time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm interested just to see Tom Brady. Period.
I am too.
He quit. We can't forget that. We can't forget that he retired.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I want to make sure that his heart's still in it.
He got that bag waiting for him at Fox too.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna go on.
I don't even want to get on that.
I know we ain't out here with the bold predictions. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna go on to say this. I think the Saints win that division. I think Tom don't make the playoffs.
No, that's bold.
That's very bold.
That's bold.
I'm gonna say the Saints win that division, and I'm gonna say
don't do that. Don't do that. No, Tom has to make the playoffs because they can't fire Todd Bowles after one season.
They ain't gonna fire Todd.
They will not fire that black man after one season. They will not
build
do
an
that.
excuse. He got to build an excuse.
No, he don't. Not with Tom Brady coming back. He's still Tom Brady. He's still Tom Brady. And he was just getting ready to. People thought he should have won the MVP, including myself last year. Listen, he ain't got no built-in excuse. Todd Bowles, if they don't make the playoffs, Todd Bowles fired.
Nah, he ain't gonna get fired. But bruh, listen, week 1 to kick off the season, Rams versus Buffalo. That's gonna be a good one. That should be. I'm telling you, they did a real good job this year with the schedule.
I'll tell you what, New Year's night, the Sunday night game, the battle for LA gonna be fireworks.
That's a nice New Year's.
Rams versus Chargers, fireworks.
Yeah.
So I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a really good. I think it's gonna be a really good season, and just like it's been for a while now, I don't really think there's a juggernaut. I think there's gonna be some really good teams, but
I think there are two juggernauts. If I ain't gonna lie to you, bro.
I don't think so.
Three.
I think there's teams that we expect to get to the Super Bowl. But I don't know if they're juggernauts.
I think if these two teams handle business, they're gonna meet up in where's it, Arizona?
Better not be Philly.
No.
Okay.
I would love it to be Philly.
Okay.
I would love it to be. But bruh.
You talking about LA Buffalo, the one we should have got last year? LA Buffalo.
Buffalo. And who else you say?
And the Rams.
Yes. Like, bro, their teams are head and shoulders better than everybody in their conference, with the exception of the Ravens in that conference. And the reason the Ravens, I think, what holds them back is the guy on the sideline. Is they won't open it up.
And I agree with you. And I agree with you. That's why I said I believe that there's teams that we expect to get there, but I don't consider them juggernauts simply because they have not huge flaws, but they have minor flaws that rear their heads at the wrong times.
At the wrong time.
You know what I mean? Like
what's the name?
Like Jalen to get beat doing something stupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's not supposed to be that guy. He's not supposed to be getting beat when the moment is at its biggest. But he'll do that
in 13 seconds. They get beat in 13 seconds.
Exactly. Buffalo will do something dumb like that. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm like, they're not
like getting beat on a trick play.
Yeah, like
Buffalo.
Like the motor, Buffalo. That's you know what I mean? Like dumb stuff like that. I think that I agree with you. I don't think that there's a team in the NFC on paper better than the Rams. I don't think that there's a team more complete in the AFC than Buffalo. But I think there's flaws within those teams that anything can happen. And like Matt Stafford had a great run. But we can't pretend like he didn't play in Detroit all those years too.
We ain't gonna pretend, but he put up numbers.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
This is what I say about Matt. I think Matt played. I don't think Matt played his best last year, and I think he's going to be better this year, another year in, which is why I think, because again he got the two legit number ones from day one. Two legit number ones. Cooper Kupp is a number one. Allen Robinson is a number one. We don't think we haven't seen it because he had Mitchell Trubisky in them throwing them.
No, Allen Robinson is definitely a number one. He's definitely a number one.
So now he got two legit number ones. He gonna have
we made Blake Bortles and Mitchell Trubisky look good for him.
Right. He made Blake Bortles and Mitchell Trubisky look like gods. And then I think people are underestimating the acquisition of Bobby Wagner. He is going to get
animating. What do you mean? Like they're still cheating over there.
But see, that's the. I don't think people underestimate. I just think people forget that he's on the team because he's got so many other names. When you start naming off the people on that team, you just they got Bobby Wagner too.
Got Bobby Wagner.
You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with Buffalo. They just did add Von Miller.
And they got another start in that corner. Like Bobby Wagner is going to be the leader of a defense that has Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. Just think about that.
I thought that was one of the weak points of the Rams defense was their linebacking core. So when they got him, I was like, wow.
Solidified.
You just got a leader that got a defense with Bobby Wagner. With Jalen Ramsey, and and Aaron Donald.
Here's another issue I have with the Rams. Super Bowl hangover.
Okay.
With so many guys finally getting that monkey off their back, whether it be McVay, whether it be Donald, whether it be Stafford, whether it be Ramsey, so many guys. How much hunger do they have? Because can't forget, Aaron Donald was talking about retirement.
Retirement, yeah.
How much hunger do they have to go back and get it again? Or is it, let's just coast through October, November, and then let's try to turn it up and make a run in December through January?
You know what the Rams going to do? What?
I think the main person that's probably the hungriest on that team is Matt Stafford. Reason being is because of being in Detroit that long. It's almost like you winning rings for Barry Sanders, for Megatron, and people haven't put you up there into that elite status yet. So if you win another one, then
this
it's like you go back to back.
But here's the thing. If he went to Atlanta and done that, it'd be something different. He went to Tinseltown.
I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen.
All of a sudden, Matt Stafford, he in AT&T commercials.
Yep, I agree.
Again, it's the little things, man. It's the little things,
listen,
man.
It's not Matt Stafford for me. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. It's LA during the season. Some vet is going to get cut. They're going to go to LA, and then they're going to insert Odell back, and then they're gonna get juice. We forgetting, bro. They got money set aside for Odell. They got that money set aside for him. He gonna get inserted. He gonna be hungry. Then some vet gonna get cut. Some vet corner gonna get cut on a trash team, and it's gonna be like, "Hey, I'm gonna go to LA."
I'm allergic to talking about the Rams this much. So
I got you, man. I understand, man. That's how I felt about Boston. That's how I feel about Boston and Dallas.
I'm trying not to give so much. You know what I mean? I'm trying to make my words as limited as possible. But
I will say this:
the writing's on the wall.
I would say it's about Tamon's team. I was super high. I'm super high on Trey.
We're not.
No. I'm saying it.
No.
I'm super high
about
on
the Rams right now. We're talking about the Rams.
I'm about to give you a compliment.
No, I don't even want the compliment. We're talking about the Rams right now. I don't even want to talk about the 49ers no more tonight. I don't want to talk about the 49ers no more tonight. Nah.
I think if Trey come out and be who I think he is,
you hurt my feelings.
That's gonna be great. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
I'm saying, man, third in the division got you into the playoffs and to the NFC Championship.
Not with 6 wins.
Yeah, with 6 wins.
It's all jokes, man. It's a lot of unknowns. It's a lot of knowns in LA. It's a lot of knowns in a lot of different places. I mean, the Rams got to prove themselves. I mean, everybody knows that, when it comes to people and rosters in any given sport, we can say these are the paper champions, but you got to go out there and get it done. And I mean, for a while now, we've been waiting to see Buffalo in the Super Bowl and haven't got there. The Rams were slated to go, and especially when they picked up Vaughn and Odell, it was like we said it on here. It was either bowl or bust, and they got the bowl. So I mean, now it's a matter of repeating, which we know is extremely hard in the NFL. And there's always a lot of parity in the NFL. The AFC West is loaded up on a lot of talent, and I'm really excited to see what comes out of the AFC, because the NFC it looks very top heavy. The AFC is more wide open, I would say, as far as who could come out and wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if I seen the Chargers come out. You know what I mean? Or you said no. Oh
no! I'm saying I wouldn't be. I'm gonna be honest with you. I wouldn't be surprised if any of those teams
Right.
in the AFC West outside of probably Las Vegas.
Nah,
Right. So I don't.
listen, I'm not surprised with any of them, anybody in that division.
That's why I'm not going to talk about the Rams too much.
I'm not. I won't be surprised. Anybody in that division.
I'm allergic.
I'm gonna say this. I would be surprised. I would be surprised if the Bengals are as good as they were last year.
That's not going to surprise me.
It's the Bengals to me. They still the Bengals to me. Yeah, they got to prove it to me.
I'm with you.
They got to prove it to me.
That I don't think that group even understands what that term means.
Right.
I agree.
And that's why I don't think that. But that's why I don't think like the Browns. I believe those guys know what that means. I believe they understand that they're the Browns.
They're the Browns to me too.
I think they believe that. I don't think the Bengals believe that they're the Bengals.
Listen, the Browns 2 years ago, they went to the AFC Championship. They was giving the Chiefs all they can handle. As good as Deshaun Watson is, he was still 4-12 on that Texans team. So as good as he is, they gotta prove it to me, man. The Bengals, they gotta prove it to me too, man. Like they just do. I gotta see it. They had a run. Seen people make runs, but again, Lamar is back. He's back. You know what I mean? And just everybody else. And so I will ask you this: and the Bengals, because I think all 4 of the teams in the West are better than the Bengals. I think the Bills are better than the Bengals. I think the Ravens are better than the Bengals. So we're saying the Bengals are probably the 7th seed to me. 7th to me.
I didn't say that. You said that.
No, I'm saying me. Yeah, I think the Bengals are 7th. Because I think all 4 of the teams in the West come make it to the playoffs.
You just wow.
All 4.
You just got to get in though.
I agree.
You just got to get in.
I agree.
I mean they went on the road before.
But the Bengals not going. The Bengals won't get in.
At the 7th seed,
why? Because the South winner going to get in.
But no. It's seven teams now, ain't it?
Right. So I picked all 4. I picked all 4 of the West.
All 4 divisions.
Okay, you're saying all 3 of them get the
all 3 wild cards come out of the West.
Come out of the West.
Wow. I don't. That's not that surprising to me. Honestly, I don't. The Jets are the Jets. They're not going to be anything. I don't think the Patriots take any leap forward. I think they're going to take a step back. Honestly,
I think as good as Miami is, they still.
Yeah, I don't think the Dolphins are going to be any leaps and bounds better than they were last year. I think all 4 teams in the West will at least hold court, if not be better than they were. The Ravens will be better than they were. They stayed. All they got to do is be healthy. I don't. Pittsburgh's going to take a step back, in my opinion, but they'll still be a really good team because they're Pittsburgh. To me, I think the Bengals are still going to. I think the Bengals are still going to be good, but I'm with you. I think just because everybody else is gotten better, I believe they take a step back.
When I say the Bengals, I don't think they are trash. Like they're number 1 pick, top 5 pick Bengals, like how they've been. I just don't think. I think that Super Bowl run was. It wasn't. I just gotta see it again. I don't think that Super Bowl run was okay. That this is who we're gonna be. This is who we're gonna be. You know what I mean? Like, I think Lamar. If Lamar's healthy, because even in the 2 games that the Bengals went and beat y'all, I think Lamar was not healthy. I think if Lamar is healthy and the Ravens are healthy, it's their division. And I think in order for the Bengals to make it and get in, they have to win the division because that West, bro, they can.
I believe everybody outside of the West better win their division if they want to make the playoffs.
Yeah, everybody. They have to. Like they can legit have. They can legit have 13. Everybody in the West could legit all of them go win 12 games. All of them. Like that division is loaded.
definitely is.
Really, really good. Really, really good. Think about it.
And y'all
Playing
division
out
can be
to-
loaded too, Biff. I just got to see it.
Look like the old NFC West.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all division can be loaded too. I would just have to see it.
Mm-mm.
And listen, heck, the East, the AFC East could be loaded. I just don't believe it. But
No,
I think in due time. I think in due time the
you don't think the AFC East can be the AFC East can be loaded?
the AFC East
Outside
will be
the
loaded
Jets.
in time.
Outside the Jets.
Yeah.
In time,
Okay.
I think it can be loaded. In time, I think the AFC East is going to be loaded.
Football gonna be real good. Listen, the for NFL, bro. If you're a fan of the NFL, man, you're in good hands right now.
I think this season is going to be really good this year.
Super Bowl pick.
Oh,
Man, we picking them right now, huh? Right now.
I mean, we have like
In
3 or 4 picks
I know.
throughout the year. So
In
off the
May.
schedule.
I mean, I gave y'all my pick. I gave y'all my picks. My picks. And Buffalo, and I gave y'all prediction. I think Buffalo
You
wins.
said Buffalo and
Buffalo Rams.
Buffalo wins.
I'm gonna go San Fran. No, I'm not. I ain't really. Don't want to say the Rams. I'm gonna go Packers. I'm gonna go Packers and Bills.
Bruh.
Packers and Bills.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Packers and Bills.
You better bet that.
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Oh, man.
You better go bet that because
I'm just
he couldn't get it. He couldn't get there with Devontae.
Listen, man, I don't want to say the Rams, so
I got you. Say anybody else. Say Tampa.
yeah.
Say
I'm
Tampa.
not. Yeah, I'm not gonna. I would have said Tampa, but nah. I think they're gonna run into the same thing they did last year.
I got you. So by default, you guys see Packers. I got you.
Yeah, really by default. To be quite honest.
I'm not gonna be a homer, so I'm gonna say Baltimore. I'll go Saints Chargers.
Wow,
That's different.
Jameis
Saints
takes them to the bowl, boy.
No, it ain't gonna be Jameis. It's gonna be that
Yo.
defense. But
But just the whole if that would have happened, bro, like that would be him just getting there would be redemption.
yeah, that'd be redemption. Yeah, real redemption.
You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
so.
But if we're being realistic, it's probably gonna be the Cardinals in the Bills.
Cardinals is attending on in the stands.
Probably gonna be the Cardinals, man. Listen.
I mean, my real pick is Baltimore and the Rams.
Okay, that's you're entitled to that.
Listen, it's probably.
But if we going off real picks, then my real pick.
No, I'm just messing with you with the Rams. I don't think the Rams are gonna get back to the Super Bowl.
You don't think they're gonna repeat?
I don't think they're gonna get back to the. I don't think they're gonna get back to the Super Bowl.
I got you. I think the East, man. The East. I just don't see a team. The only team I can see knocking them off
To the NFC East?
No, in the NFC.
Oh,
The only team I can see them knocking them off is if Tom is Tom, which that's it. If Tom has one more magical hurrah. I also can see, again, just based off of the past 3 seasons, we had Tampa go through it in Tampa and win it. We had the Rams go through it in LA and win it. That's why I said, man, the Cardinals probably gonna make it.
I see the Giants winning the NFC East.
Listen, that ain't far fetched.
Hold on.
I'm just messing, y'all. I'm just throwing.
I got
Hold up. You said the Cardinals because it's in Arizona.
Because it's in Arizona.
That's too much.
Kyler gonna be playing shortstop or second base in a few years. They're not going anywhere.
Listen, he got all them weapons. It's Cliff Kingsbury.
Well, he ain't gonna have one for 6 weeks.
For 6 weeks.
So that would be 3 times that a team. You go
Listen,
from doing it no time for 50 years and then
I
3
think
in
it'd
a
be
row.
great. That's why I think the NFL
They
would
better
be great
stop.
to have.
I was gonna say they better stay. They gonna make sure that don't happen. So people
Yeah, I was about to say
it's not
Roger ain't
rigged.
gonna allow that to happen at all.
You're like,
Listen,
nah.
if that happened, bro. Like, I'm just gonna see if it happens.
When they
I'm
come
just
into
gonna see
Philly.
when it's in Philly.
Yeah, when they come into Baltimore. When they come into Baltimore. For real, for real. All right, fellas. Final thoughts. Let's go ahead and wrap it up.
My final thought would be, yo, prayers up to CP3, man. Like,
Another one bites the dust.
Yeah, man. Shit.
Dang.
Hold on. We didn't pick the. I'm assuming everybody's picking the Warriors in the Dallas series.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because we didn't even discuss it. I guess.
Listen, I got to win a
I
championship. I got
Nothing to talk about, right? Okay, go ahead, Tamar. Your final thought.
So Errol Spence is pound for pound the best boxer. He's number one pound for pound.
Really?
The Eagles won't make it to the playoffs.
Hold on. Earl Spence is really number one pound for pound?
I don't know if he's.
No, this
ESPN.
is
That's just. Your final thoughts is just shots at Dom?
Yo, I don't even know what my final thought was, yo. That 6 wins.
My man said my final shots. I'm just gonna take shots at Dom.
Bad taste. Nah. That 6 wins just left a bad taste in my mouth.
Well, man, just mark it down, man.
Nah.
What's today, man? What's today? May 15th. What's today? May 15th.
The Earl
May 15th, man. It's May 15th, man. Mark it down, man. Dom said y'all was gonna get 6 dubs. So when y'all get number 7, man, you can go and put it back on it, man. Put that.
The Earl Spence wasn't a shot at Dom. I know we talked about boxing. I know we talked about Canelo a lot. But I really think the Earl Spence is the number one pound for pound boxer.
Because he beat Ugas?
And no, he's gonna beat Bud.
Okay, let's have that discussion after we beat Bud, though.
Yeah, but I still have him as number 1 right now in my opinion.
He beat Ugas?
Bruh. He's beat other people than Ugas. Let me get my final thought out, man. Earl Spence number 1 pound for pound. Can't wait for football season. It's definitely going to be a lot of good games each and every Sunday, and I'm excited to see what this playoffs has to offer, because if the Warriors win again, then it's going to be a lot of debate as to like whether they actually needed KD or not the last time. And if they could go through another dynasty run. So I'm definitely intrigued to see where that goes.
If Clay healthy in that Toronto series, they got another one. But go ahead.
My final thought is college football. I seen somewhere where somebody had made a proposal about just letting the college football playoff committee pretty much oversee Division I college football. I don't know what because of the NIL thing or whatever, but I don't know what the course of action is to oversee college football or whatever.
I can't even get the playoff right. Why would
my point exactly. All I want to say with college football is just don't mess with the rivalries. I don't care what you do. You want to make super conferences, 5 super conferences, 2 super conferences. Do not mess with the rivalries of college football. You can mix and match, move people all over the place. Rivalries are what make college football different from other sports. So whatever you do, you can realign, you can make anybody the governor. Do not mess with the rivalries of college football. That's all.
Why don't they just do like FCS? I'm not understanding the formula's right there for a playoff in college.
It ain't enough money to go around, bro. It is, but to them, it's not. It's just that simple. Like, other than that, I don't understand the reason. Because it's not about logistics. Can't be, right? They pretend that it's about games, right? But you could just subtract regular season games so that way you got more games for however many playoff. So to me, it's just about the money pot and who's not going to be able to get a big enough piece of the pie. So that's the only legitimate reason I can give for it. There's a Division I tournament pretty much for every other sport.
Yeah. Yeah, except for football.
Except for football. So, but yeah, just don't mess with the rivalries, guys. Just don't take away the rivalries. That's all I ask for. But that's our show for this week. Join us next week, same time at 9 o'clock. So until then, next time, speak on it.
6
Peace.
win.